Hi everyone, this is Ginger with Gingerberry Creek, and today's tutorial is going to be how to make a jelly roll using your already bought fabric. This is what a pre-cut jelly roll usually looks like, and sometimes they can be a little pricey. So if you already have a big fabric stash and you would like to cut your own strips, then I'm going to show you how that process on how to cut your strips. This is a collection by Riley Blake. It has 18 different prints in it, and that's usually what a jelly roll will consist of, is a designer's collection, and then they cut the strips from each one of the fabrics, and sometimes you'll get two of the same, sometimes you'll just get one. So that's usually how a jelly roll is made by the manufacturer, is from a designer collection. Like I said, this was Riley Blake. I believe it is called Clover Farm. So it's a Clover Farm. That's the collection here that I'm using today to cut my strips. Now I have 18 prints, so if I doubled up on my strips, that'd give me 36, but I really want to have at least 40. So that means 4 of these fabrics I will need to cut an extra strip to get my 40 out of. So let me set these aside and we'll begin with one of these. Now, before I get started on cutting, I kind of wanted to give you this idea of how the fabric, woven cotton fabric, is done. So on this piece of paper, we're going to pretend that it's a piece of fabric, and I have folded it just like I have it folded here. My 2 salvage edges are up here at the top because when I cut, I like to cut on this fold first. So here's my salvage edges here on my piece of paper, this edge and this edge. This line here is the line for the grain. This is how the grain line runs. And this is considered, if you cut along this line in this direction, this is a straight cut. So the cuts that we're going to be making today on these fabrics is a cross cut. So at a 90-degree angle is your cross grain, and this will be your cross cut. Now if you do a 45 on this from this salvage edge, this 45 is considered a bias cut. So there's 3 types of cuts that you can do on a fabric, and it all depends on what your pattern calls for. So for today and this tutorial, we're going to be doing a cross cut, this 90-degree. So I thought I would give you a visual on that before we got started. So I've already kind of prepped my fabric. I have my 2 salvage edges here, and I'm going to put them up at the top because, like I said, I like to cut on this fold here when I make my first cut. You're going to need your rotary cutter and a ruler. Now there's 2 types of rulers that you could use. You can cut these with scissors as well, or even if you have one of those die cutting machines, you could cut the strips out of that. But this is a 2.5-inch ruler, and it makes quick work of it. The other type of ruler that you could use is this is a Creative Cut ruler by June Taylor, and it has these slots in it here that your rotary cutter sits down into, and so you would line it up. That's what these horizontal lines are for here. I would line that up along my fold here. Now I'm right-handed and I like to cut from the right to the left. If you're left-handed, you would then cut from this edge going to the right, or you may be right-handed but you like to cut from the left to the right, whichever is your preference. So you would put that on here, you would line it up with one of these horizontal lines. I'm going to move it to the edge here. Actually, before we start, I'm going to line it up here on one of my cutting mats. That's the other thing you're going to need, is a cutting mat, a cutting surface. So let me show you the first ruler before I show you the slotted ruler. You're going to come out a little past one of your vertical lines, and we're going to just trim off to make it a straight cut, or an even edge basically. So then I would just line it up and go ahead and cut it. I've put a new blade in my rotary cutter, so it should cut nice and smoothly. Now if you're using this ruler, you could cut on this side, and because this ruler is 2.5 inches wide, you could cut it that way. Or you could do like I do and measure over 2.5 inches. So I have my one line here. So this is 1 inch, 2 inch, and this middle line is a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to line it up here and then make my cut. So I have made one. And then I would move over. I've already got the 1/2 inch. So then I'd go 1 inch, 2 inch, and I'd line it up with this one. And this is one of the fabrics that I want an extra strip. So I'm going to go ahead and move it again and make another cut. And then I'm going to stop and go to my next print, and I'll show you how to use the other ruler. So there's my 3 for this print. I'm not worrying about this edge right here yet. I'm not going to mess with that till I get to where I'm sewing the strips together. So I'm going to just move this off to the side and bring in my next print, which is this one right here. And now I'm going to go ahead and line this up again on my mat where I am a little over one of the lines. I'm going to grab this creative ruler here. I'm going to line it up along that line as well, but I'm also going to this horizontal line I'm aligning with my fold. So now that I have it there, and I have it in position, it's nice and straight. I'm going to insert my rotary cutter into the slot and then go the length of the fabric. At that point, once I've made this first cut, I'll move it so you can see. Now we're just going to go over. I've got a 1/2 inch here at the end, so I'm just going to move over 2 inches to my number 4, because I cut differently. So here's my first cut. I don't move the fabric or the ruler. My next cut, so I cut at 4. My next cut is now going to be over to 2 and then the 1/2 mark. So this slot right here. And then I don't move the ruler because I want to make one more cut. Actually, I think I have to move the ruler over here, and they make these rulers in different sizes. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that away. And here's my two strips that I've cut. I'm going to go ahead and set this back down and line it back up. And then I'm going to make my third cut, because on this fabric, this is one of the fabrics I want 3. Got my halves, so I'm going back to number 4 here. There we go. So that would be how you would use a ruler like this. All right, I'm going to continue on cutting my strips, and then I will come back and show you how to kind of layer them or put them in order for the jelly roll. So let me continue on, and then we will come back and go over like kind of the color combination. Okay, we have all of our strips cut, and now I'm going to sort them probably by color, so that then I can kind of put them in an order that I think would look good. So I'm just going to sort them right now into kind of color stacks, similar colors, or the majority of what the color is, like green, kind of this reddish pink, yellow. This is more white. And then what I'm going to do is start laying them out according to how I would like them to look within my rug that I'm going to be making. And then once we have that determined, then I'll roll them up to kind of show you what it'll what it'll look like when it's completed. So I'm almost done here. I'm just gonna kind of get these together. So I've kind of got them separated down into color categories here. And then what I'm going to start with is what I want kind of this. I'm going to start with the white because I prefer to put my lighter fabrics on the inside of the rug and then my darker fabric on the outside along the edge of the rug. So I'm going to start with this white stack and I'm going to lay these out. So these two go together here. This one looks a little bit lighter than this one with the pink in it. So I think this is probably going to be my center, my center strips. This one has bigger white areas in it than compared to this one. So I was thinking that maybe I want this one next. So I've got my that one there and then this one, and then I think I'm going to put this one, and now I think what I'm going to do is go to my pink that's next. And put these here. And I mean, just because I do it like this doesn't mean that I can't change it up once it's kind of done. Now that I'm looking at this, I don't know. I may want this one up against this one first. So I think I'm going to swap this around. And now I think I'll put this color next. And then I think from here I'm going to go into my yellow. And I think this yellow would be better first. Then this, maybe this yellow. And then this one. Because this has a little bit of pink in it. I think the next thing I'm going to do is maybe go for, I think I'm going to go for my green. So here with my green, I'm going to kind of sort them down a little bit more into, because you see there's different kind of shades of this green. Spread them out so I can see them a little better. That way I can decide which one goes first and which one I want last. All right, I'm thinking I kind of like that this one has, I don't know, this one's pretty light. It may look pretty good up against the previous one here since it's kind of the same print. And then I think I want to go, I might go with this one next. It's got the bigger flowers and the color. And then do my bumblebee print here. And then I think I'm going to do this one since it has the pink in it. And then I'll use this one. because it has a lot more green to it. All right, so now we're down to these two colors left here. I think I'm going to end on this color. So I'm going to take these ones. And I think I'll do this one. And then we're going to do two of these. Actually, this color is a little bit lighter, so I'm actually going to swap these out. I'm going to go with this one next. And then I'm going to put these. Looking good so far. I'm really happy with how that's coming along. All right, so now we have this final kind of coral color. It's a reddish pink. So I think for me, I'm going to go with this one, then this one, and use this one as my last. So this one I'll bump up against this gingham. Then I'm going to go for this one. And then my last color here. And I will end with this around the outside of my. So that is going to be how my roll is going to end up. So let me get my cardboard center, and I'll kind of show you how it will look as we roll it up here. So now I'm going to flip this over. Well, yeah, I think I'll flip it over, and we'll start with the white just to kind of go quickly. All right, so there's what the rug is gonna pretty much look like color-wise when it's done. So that is how you can create your own jelly roll. And I hope this has been helpful with all the information that I've provided. And please stay tuned for more tutorials on how to create a jelly roll rug or mat. I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos on each step. This series should consist of, I think, about 6 or 7, possibly a few more than that, but it'll be a whole series on start to finish on a jelly roll rug or mat. I've already got a couple other videos out that you can check out, and those are about how to use the fabric tube makers. I feature 3 different ones, and how you use each one of those, attach them, and then sew with them. I also have a video out about the modified start method. It's slightly different from the pattern, but anyway, I hope again this has been helpful. Please like and share the video, and also please subscribe to my channel. And I hope that you all have a great day. Thank you. Bye.